Hey, welcome back to Company Driver News. Remember that, that's a big difference. This is the shit we care about. Today, Mother Trucker announced something pretty big, so we're gonna have to get in there.
A lot of drivers are saying me this. They're feeling a little freaked out. Tell me what you guys think. Full disclaimer, not nationwide. Some states are doing this. Wisconsin is saying they are doing this. And what they did was they're giving rights to their law enforcement. They're allowed to do saliva swab testing
Oh,
during road.
you know what that means? For some of you drivers, your worst fear is now coming to life for you to enjoy every heart stopping moment.
Roadside inspections. But it's not just for semi trucks, it's for all vehicles. So if you're rolling through Wisconsin and other similar states that we're going to talk about today, then if you get a roadside inspection and they whip out a swab test for your saliva,
Excuse me while
now
I
you
whip
know.
this
That's all I
out.
got to say. And we'll break down a couple of these things. A lot of confusion here. Just want to help you guys out. What's going on, Mother Truckers?
Nothing
Welcome to Mother
much.
Trucker News. Let's get into the story right
Let's get
here.
into it.
Had truck drivers send me articles from
Yeah.
Landline Magazine talking about getting inspected, roadside inspections, and getting a saliva test. So they were concerned about that and asked me, Alex, can you talk a little bit about this and just give us a little bit more information? So let's get back to it. Welcome everybody to Mother Trucker News. I appreciate you guys so much. So
Oh, you
today we are definitely breaking down this story right here.
Here we go.
And the question is, are truck drivers now being hit with roadside saliva drug tests everywhere nationwide? And the short answer is no to that. I want to make myself clear about this. What it is it's limited in certain states, and what is still just a federal policy on paper, because there's a lot of confusion that's going on, and that's why drivers are sending me this article to talk about it. What's happening right now is a mix of few states testing new tools. Some states are actually using them, and federal agents approving future testing methods for workplace drug programs. A couple of different things happening there. So, what's actually happening in these states, right? So, right now, roadside saliva drug screening is only showing up in a limited number of states. For example, is Wisconsin. Lawmakers just passed a new law allowing officers to use saliva swabs during roadside stops, but only when they already suspect drug impairment. So they have to already suspect that. But again, that's their word.
I don't know. That sounds weird, drivers. That sounds weird, drivers. I don't know. I don't know, drivers.
Versus yours. So just know that if you're in Wisconsin, they now can just swab you. Now, here's the key detail for all of you to understand. This is not a guilty or not guilty test. This is only a preliminary screening tool that they will be using. The result cannot be used alone to convict someone. It is used to help officers establish probable cause for further testing, like blood work or formal investigation. So you got to think of it like this. It's similar to a roadside breath test, but for drugs instead of alcohol. Don't be afraid. It is something, it's not just.
Why is he saying don't be afraid? Why, Mother Trucker, would you say don't be afraid? Because if you're on drugs and you're driving down the highway in a big rig, you should be afraid. This should scare you straight. I don't understand how they're trying to say don't be afraid, keep doing your drugs. Maybe put a disclaimer under that. Come on. Because if you're on drugs, if you're doing drugs or alcohol, any of that, you should be very afraid of all of this. Not don't be afraid. Yeah, be afraid because it might not be today.
As truck drivers in Wisconsin, it's everybody that they're giving the right in that state to do a roadside inspection and saliva swab test you. Don't be shocked. Now, other states already experimenting or operating some of these programs, I'm going to give them to you right now. They are Alabama. It states statewide roadside oral fluid testing program. Indiana, statewide roadside oral fluid testing program. Michigan, currently considering legislation, but it's not a law yet. So again, this isn't nationwide, but it is state by state, and these states are getting more involved. I really want to hear from you guys to see what you guys think about this. I don't want you to be shocked if you're in Wisconsin. Either you're in your normal passenger vehicle or in your semi truck. They can now roadside inspection and get a swab out and check you. That's it, right? Having an understanding why they state they're doing this is important as well.
Yeah,
They
why?
state that the argument from lawmakers is that they say drug related crashes are increasing and officers need faster tools to identify possible impairment during traffic stops. Supporters point to crash data showing thousands of incidents involving alcohol, drugs, or both. Their position is that we need quicker tools on the roadside before a driver is allowed to continue driving. But of course, there is a big controversy about this. Critics of roadside saliva testing say there's a major problem. These tests do not measure impairment, they only detect whether substance may be present in the
Yeah, you should
body. They state
absolutely
that
be
is a
afraid.
huge difference because a driver could use legal substance days earlier, be completely sober at the time of driving, still potentially test positive on a screening swab. And that is what's going on with that debate. I know already in the comments, people are like, okay, so educate us on what is the federal government doing and the DOT? What are their policies and rules? At the federal level, the U.S. Department of Transportation actually has already approved oral fluid saliva testing as an alternative method for CDL drug testing programs, but not for roadside enforcements. This is more for employer based drug testing programs like pre employment testing, they state, random testing, post accident testing, return to duty testing. So I don't want you guys to get that confused. So the DOT system is about workplace compliance, not policies, not about allowing police to pull you over and test.
Workplace compliance. What do you think that means, drivers? Let me know in the comments what you think workplace compliance means. That whole thing is weird. That's really weird. Workplace compliance. That sounds really weird.
You on the shoulder of the highway. Even that federal rollout is still limited because lab systems and certification processes are still being built out. That's why you might not have seen it. Roadside saliva testing is not nationwide. Only a few states are using or testing it right now. Wisconsin just expanded its law to allow it under specific conditions. Federal DOT has approved saliva testing, but only for workplace drug programs. There's no universal roadside drug swab program across America yet, is what I have to put out there. Now, in Wisconsin and a couple of these states, yeah, they could pull you over and they could swab you for saliva if they
Yeah.
think that you're on something. So don't be afraid if they're asking you for a saliva test. I don't want you to be freaked out about that. As always, just want to appreciate my partners at Multi-Service Fuel Card. Appreciate them very much. If you're an owner operator, fraud right now in fuel, it's crazy. There's a lot of big carriers right now don't even want to use fuel cards because they're like, it's unsafe to. So with Multi-Service Fuel Card, it's a one-time PIN. They're going to give it to you. It's 100% safe. You can put that in and you will be safe. And this will help you out a lot because fraud has been crazy. You don't need to get caught up with the skimmers and scammers.
It's weird because we're company drivers. We ain't got to worry about shit like fuel cards and DOT permits. And man, let me tell you what though. If this scares you, driver, there's a reason why this scares you. And you go to the truck stop and you're like, hey, it's scaring. Or you go on the internet and you said, hey, it's scaring on like Facebook and those groups that we all like to hang out in. A lot of those real drivers are going to talk shit about you because it's probably you are the reason why this is happening. And I know he says they're targeting cars too. But if this scares you, be scared. You don't need to be doing that stuff. And it sounds weird coming from another person. You don't need to be doing it. But dude, you don't need grow up. It's just a little drug. Get rid of it. You'll make more money. And you know what that means? You're going to make more money and the girls are going to like you. I think a girl wants a druggie. Let them do the drugs. That way they're better in bed. But whatever it is. I don't know what it is, driver. You're probably weird about that. But I'll tell you what. Don't be the one to do the drugs. Save the drugs for the people. All right? On that note, I'm out of here, guys. I'm out of here. But appreciate you checking it out. Stick around for the next